We are coming from a 24-month slowdown caused by a financial crisis that shook the world. In the economic front, 2011 will be marked by a global rebalancing act. Those developed countries that used to live beyond their means will now see their consumption reduced to repay their debts, while those net savers will probably increase their consumption. The big challenge of 2011 for those indebted countries, families and firms will be access to financing. The good news? The world is expected to grow at about 3% in 2011, and there should be enough capital to flow to those countries and firms with good, credible projects.
During next year, I would recommend companies paying attention mainly to these three characteristics. The first one is courage or fortitude, which has two dimensions. One is to resist when you are facing difficult situations, but also to attack if you want to change them. The second characteristic is the vital attitude of optimism. When you are convinced that things are possible, you put more effort to change them. And the third characteristic is solidarity, not only because there are people that are suffering more than us, but also because we need a collaborative attitude if we want to think change for better.
In the next 12 months, companies will have to deal with three IT-related issues. The first one is cloud computing. Companies will have to be able to leverage cloud technologies to switch from fixed to variable costs. The second and third one have to do with social networks. Companies will have to relate to their clients and to their own employees using these technologies.
2010 has been a stellar year for many entrepreneurs and business leaders here in Europe. We see it when we look at the figures, sales figures, number of orders, but also when we sense the atmosphere among customers, consumers. The challenge in 2011 for leaders and entrepreneurs in Europe will be to address these stubborn issues, structural issues. They will not be able to do it alone. They have to proactively reach out to leaders in other sectors, in the public sector and in the third sector. Only by these common efforts across the different sectors, by combining market and non-market strategies, we will be able to turn this progress into a sustainable trend in the next years.
What will be the operational challenges for 2011? Well, basically there will be three: volatility, flying bricks, and complexity. Volatility driven by the financial markets, but also due to the increase of raw material prices. Flying bricks. Companies located in the emerging economies will continue to grab market share where they haven't been present in the past. As a result of this, many companies will be forced to reduce the time to market of their products. This will result in shortening life cycles and in product proliferation, which in turn increases the complexity of today's value chains. So in a nutshell, 2011 will continue to be a challenging year for operations, and the best way to overcome this is by practicing your operational excellence.
In 2011, the principal challenges facing companies in regard to globalization are going to be twofold. First of all, there are the market-based challenges associated with weak demand, shifts in demand from developed countries to emerging markets, and those in some sense are perhaps the most familiar challenges. The less familiar challenges are the non-market challenges associated with rebuilding the legitimacy of global business after the episode of the crisis that we've been through.